the mindset also in the mentorship, just seeing myself as the business owner, seeing myself as a CEO and not just a freelancer, somebody that I am able to delegate work to my part-time grant writer and then the VA to help do some of the things while I focus on the bigger CEO tasks as well as some other client work as well. The quality control that we're learning in the mentorship is helpful as well as the marketing and the sales pipeline and all of that. Instead of like random marketing, like having a plan, it's also something that's been very helpful in the mentorship.
Hello, hello. It's Holly Rustick here with Grant Writing and Funding, and I'm so excited. We have a very special guest on the show today, Isatou Bittaye-Jobe, and you're going to be talking about, you're in the mentorship. You've also came from the academy. So I love that you've gone through like our whole ecosystem as far as what we're offering, and you're in this and you've built your business from scratch with us, which is awesome too, to see like the whole exploration. But you are the founder and principal consultant of Amika Consulting as well. We'll definitely put all of that in the show notes. But just thank you so much for coming on the podcast today to talk about your experience in the programs and about your business as a grant professional. Welcome, Isatou.
Thank you, Holly, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and happy Ramadan. I know you're in the middle of that going on right now too. So yes, so super excited to have you on. Once again, like, can you just tell us a little bit about what you do in grant writing? What got you interested? As I mentioned, you kind of started like in 2023. You were working full time, even in the beginning of 2024, and looking, at a way to maybe do something different. So, can you tell me like what got you interested in grant writing and specifically like leaving your job and being a freelance grant writer?
Yeah, I have actually been doing grant writing for a while now. I used to be an in-house grant writer. I think I did that for about 12 years. I mean, in the Gambia, where I am originally from, that's where everything started. And then when I immigrated to the US, I continued in the path of fundraising. But I was doing a little bit of everything in fundraising and then found my niche to be in grant writing because I just love grant writing. I love the pieces and all of the things that the puzzles that come together because the grant writing is not just about the writing. It includes like the systems, it includes the thinking and the organizing, which I love a lot, and project management. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought that consent like specializing in grant writing, it's an interesting area for me rather than doing all of the other pieces that I was doing in fundraising. So that's what got me interested in it. And then with my cause areas and my niche, I just decided that since this is what I have been doing, working for over a decade in this social justice movement, I think that's what I should specialize in. And why I became a freelance grant writer, I wanted more freedom. I wanted more flexibility to work for myself because I have two little ones at home. And then also a lot of changes happened in the social justice movement that kind of pushed me to shift towards that, especially in the US, the funding landscape and how there are systemic injustice in the funding landscape, particularly for grassroots organizations, which are very like they are very dear to my heart. I am very passionate about those type of organization. That's why when I launched my consulting business, I chose to focus on those type of nonprofits. I want to support grassroots social justice nonprofits to get resources to be able to continue to do the great work that they're doing because they're making change, especially in the US. The change is happening at the local level. I mean, it's hard. There is a lot of things happening right now, but I think grassroots community, local justice, grassroots community based social justice organization are doing a lot and they deserve all the support to raise resources to continue their work. That's why I chose to specialize in that area.
Yeah, and I love that. And when you came into the academy and I was working on your change statement, it's one of the things that we do to like get clear on your offers and your pricing and your messaging. And I love that that was your niche because I'm really passionate about different social justice movements as well, specifically like reproductive rights and different things going on in the world. So I was really excited. I'm always excited when I'm also like, oh, I get excited about people's cause areas. Like everything's exciting with nonprofits, let's be real. But certain things just kind of like also, get my interest a little bit more. And I was like, I'm so glad to see you doing this work and to see a number of other people in the academy or in the mentorship as well doing this type of work. And it just feels really good to see that we all have a community too, to that we're doing this together, not just isolated, maybe trying to advocate in silo, but like a lot of other people are doing similar work in different places. And it's just to see like, okay, there is hope because there is a lot of things going on right now, right? That could say, okay, is that derailing you? And I know we talked about that in the green room a little bit. So let me just ask it here on the podcast too. Like, because of the change with the executive orders with DEI and all of that with federal grants and cutting a lot of grants that are related to the types of organizations that you may serve or cause areas, like has that impacted your business as well?
Yeah, you're right. A lot of things are happening all at the same time with grants and with the executive orders. I will say almost all my clients are in that area. They're the ones that are targeted by the executive orders. But fortunately for me, most of my clients chose not to write federal grants. They chose to
Yeah.
focus on foundation grants because of the work that they do. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of effort and time to get federal grants, and knowing the
Mhm.
kind of advocacy that they do, if it's not going to bring any return on investment, they choose to focus on foundations. I do have a couple of clients, or like few clients, that used to write federal I write federal grants for, particularly Department of Justice grants.
Mhm.
With that client, it is impacted my business because that grant has been taken away. We don't see it anymore online. Actually, there is supposed to be a grant that comes around the spring. Last year by this time, the people were writing that grant, but right now it's not on the website. It's not on the DOJ website. So it looks like that grant is not happening anymore. And for that client, it's a challenge because they
Yeah.
get a lot of their funding from that particular grant. So that is impacting my that client and myself with the federal grant that I used to write for them. But other clients, I will say majority of my clients are focusing in the foundation grant
Right.
area. Yeah, in that sense, there hasn't been much changes. They
Okay.
still
That's
pursue the same foundation.
good. Mhm.
But the other side of the issue is that with federal grants coming out, especially grants that we are serving this target population, like immigrant population,
Mhm.
reproductive justice, issues of climate justice, issues of LGBTQI plus issues, and gender justice. Most of the foundations that are funding in that area will now be receiving a lot of requests because everybody is going to go to them. So the competition is going to be high in that
Mhm.
area. So my clients might also have some funding cuts, but I think it will not be a lot of impact
Okay,
for
that's
my
great.
clients specifically
Yeah.
because they don't pursue federal grants. They are focusing
Mhm.
mainly on the foundation
Right.
area.
That's good. And then they have those relationships already, right, with some of those foundations or funding sources.
Yes.
So that's good. I know, yeah, and that'll be an interesting thing to watch this year, right? To see like how competitive do foundation grants get, especially in those specific cause areas that are impacted by the EOs, and what grant writers can do, like such as yourself, like to make your current clients or new clients even more competitive, because you might be getting a lot of those clients too that are coming over from the federal side, right, and bringing them on that are kind of new to the foundations, or they returning to foundations, so that they don't have those relationships. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
so that's definitely.
exactly. Yeah. That's what we are currently doing, trying to position the clients at Amika Consulting to be able to be more compelling for foundations to
Yeah.
push through the competition. And for us, the relationship is key. That's what we always tell our clients, to build a relationship, especially with foundations. That's what is going to get you through. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
again,
I love.
yeah.
Yeah, and just folks listening out there that might be in that position where you were getting federal funding for certain cause areas related to those EOs, like, yeah, contact Isatou. Contact Amika Consulting. Like, we'll have all of the show notes, and the show notes will have your links and everything, because you're an expert at that. I mean, like you said, even like you've built your business in the last few years but like you've been writing these types of grants for a long time within organizations, so you have that experience. So let's kind of pivot to that as well. You joined the Freelance Grant Writer Academy, which is our signature program to really get folks just their businesses started, to even learn grants more. Like we really focus on, our like how to write grants, how to write really good grants, unlimited grant reviews, and just getting your business started, getting your clients in the door. And then our grant professional mentorship is really once you have your business going to then double your revenue with systems, a part-time lean team, and a scaling offer without burning out. Because part of what we see is when you become a freelance grant writer, it's great, but sometimes then you get into the position of like just taking on so many clients, and then you're like, I need to hire people, and that usually happens pretty quickly, like that feeling, just because there's so much work out there, and then needing more sophisticated tools that we don't want to teach in the academy and overwhelm people who are like, I'm just learning how to write a grant. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, don't hire someone yet, right? So that's how we separate the programs as well, because it's different curriculum for the same person, but at different points in their journey. So can you kind of talk about like why you joined the academy, where you're at in your business at that point in time, and then what made you choose to join the mentorship?
Yeah, when I joined the academy, this was last year, 2024, in January. By then, I had only been in business for like 3 months, I will say, because I launched my business in October 2023 and I had a full time job. So
Yeah.
when I joined the academy, I started from the scratch, basically. I had
Yeah.
only one client at the time. That was like not even a retainer, it was an hourly client. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to start from the beginning, and the academy was really helpful in helping me to position myself, refine my offers, my niche, because I was really all over the place. Social justice
Mm-hmm.
organization, I was like, I'm going to serve this type of nonprofit, that type of nonprofit. I wasn't really clear of the type of niche area where I want to specialize and what is something that I'm really interested to do. I was
Yeah.
looking at what people want me to do for them
Yeah.
instead of what I want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
the academy helped me really well in honing out my offers. And then it also helped me with the marketing strategy, the ethical nonprofit sales that you have in the curriculum was helpful in doing discovery calls. Sometimes you also have client issues, and it was really helpful to be part of the academy to navigate those things. And then the master grant application template that was introduced in the academy was also helpful when I started getting clients. At the beginning, I was just focusing on marketing, focusing on niching out my services and making the offers clear. But once I started getting clients, I needed a strategy and a tool to be more
Yeah.
efficient. That is when the master grant application template came very helpful. And then also, when I realized that my business was growing quickly, and you talked about that once these clients start coming, sometimes they grow so quickly. I started getting clients all over the place, and then I'm just one person
Yeah.
doing the deliverables, doing the client work at the same time. Running the business operation was challenging for me. I decided that I think it's time to get into the next level, which is the mentorship, because the academy is great, but it's for when you're starting out. And
Yeah.
just for me, that's what I realized, that once I started and then had clients, it came to a point that I really needed more support,
Yeah.
especially one-on-one support that I thought the
Mhm.
mentorship could offer me. That was why I joined the mentorship. And it's been great navigating like what I currently have, what I was having and where I am right now. Because when I joined the mentorship, that is that it came at a point that the growth was just so quick. I
Yeah.
needed support on the admin side. I also needed support on the grant writing side, not just
Yeah.
for me to be the one grant writer with doing all the client work, but at the same time, trying to find somebody to help me write the grants and keeping the business running. And the mentorship has been very helpful with the streamline systems framework that you have with the SOPs and the hiring
Mhm.
part-time lean team. That has been very helpful in making sure that I position the business while doing client work so that I don't feel overwhelmed, because at some
Mhm.
point it was really overwhelming before
Yeah.
I came into the mentorship. I
Yeah.
had a little bit of overlap with both the mentorship and the academy, but right now I am only in the mentorship, and I am focusing on that for now.
Yeah. And I love that because like as you mentioned, you came in, you're working full time, you had one part-time kind of like hourly client, and then you really cleaned up and you started like outlining your retainers and just so you'd have more consistent cash flow. And you even quit your job, your full-time job last year. And I remember when you came in and you were like, okay, I want to do this and like I think it was like 8 months. I think you said you were going to get, or to the end of the year, that you were going to give yourself, right? Because it's a full year program. You came in January and you quit your job like 4 months in, was it? Something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, you
Yeah.
got it. That's true. Yeah. When I
Like
came, I had
April.
a goal of I started in January 2024, and my goal was by the end of December 2024, or before December, around October towards December, I will actually quit my job. That was the plan. But when I came in, I think I quit my job in April. Yeah, that was 4 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was so fast because you got clients so quickly and you're like, I guess I can do this sooner rather than later. And was it because of the model that we teach in there, the retainer model, that you had confidence in being able to quit your job in such a short amount of time because you had cash flow then? Or what was kind of the thought on that? Like, okay, I can actually do this a lot quicker than I thought.
Yeah, I would say that is part of it. It was a combination of a lot of factors that was part of it, but the mindset framework that I was getting, I mean, in the academy was just super helpful. And I was like, I think even if I don't have any client right now, I am gonna get clients because that
Yes.
mindset made me
Yes.
change the way I was viewing my business, the way I was thinking about business. But once I get into the academy, my mindset completely shifts, and I was so determined to get clients, and I knew that I was going to get clients. I said, okay, I will quit my job. And by the time I put in my resignation before my last day, I actually got one client that was retainer client in addition to the
Oh,
hourlies that I was getting. That
yeah.
contributed a lot. And just like the systems and the tools that I was getting in the academy, seeing the people, the community as well, people that were there, how they started. And some of them, I mean, they've been writing grants just for a few years and they're able to grow their business like that. So
Yep.
because of the tools, I was like, okay, if these people can do it, I can also do it. I have all this amazing experience writing grants. I just lack the business experience, and this program is going to teach me how to get that business experience. That was the main reason why I quit the job and said, okay, I will
I
choose my
love that.
business.
I love that because yeah, because it's like looking at because we do a lot with mindset, right? And coming in and like you're a business owner, and just for you too to see like all these other people that are quitting their jobs or full time and freelancing, and they have way less experience than you in grant writing, right? So like in the skills, so you're like, why can't I, right? I like part of that too, like just seeing that and being around the community and seeing how people are doing it and saying, oh, I have confidence now, and just having that inner confidence because that's what it really takes is like there's clients out there, right? There's way and getting and just being like, I know this is gonna work is really having that mindset is really where it's at, right? But there's a lot to get there. Right? There's a lot to get there. So I love that you had that so quickly because that's usually one of the parts that takes the longest, right? Is getting that confidence, that inner confidence. So that's so good. And then like having that, and then even in that year, so then we closed out. We were looking at your numbers before we started the podcast today. We were looking and we're saying, okay, so we closed out last year around 100,000, right, in your business, which is amazing for your first full year in business. And you know what I mean? Like that's amazing. So, and you were even working a job for 4 months out of that year. So good. Then you, like you said, you grew really quickly. And I remember all those conversations of like, oh my gosh, I'm bringing on clients. And I'm like, don't stop selling. We're just going to figure it out. Like this is a good problem that we're going to have. And then that it was a good problem to have, but it was still something to figure out. Like, how do I do this without burning myself out? How do I do this with boundaries? And that's where the mentorship came in. And now you've been able to hire and you're projected to double your revenue to 200 this year already. You've been able to pull in a lot of that cash and seeing that cash flow with the retainers, even with, like you mentioned, having to let a client go because of everything going on in grants right now that normally you wouldn't have had to, but because of the climate you have had to, but you're still on track to double your revenue this year, which is fantastic, to 200,000. How does that feel? How does that feel?
Yeah, that feels good. That feels good. And I think that's because of the system, because I remember the conversations last year when I was just overwhelmed with the clients I had and the ones that were prospective clients, and they were like my niche area. I didn't want to let them go. And I was confused. I was like, I don't think I can do this. You were like, don't stop selling. Take it on. Take it on. We will figure it out. And then we figured it out through the mentorship, because you helped me hire a part-time grant writer. And now I have a VA to help as well. So I have two team members to support me with the work, so that I will be able to double the revenue
Yeah.
this year. And I think I am on track for that. Hopefully, if nothing
Yeah.
changes, I will hit that. Yeah, so I think the mindset also in the mentorship, just seeing myself as the business owner, seeing myself as a CEO and not just a freelancer, somebody that I am able to delegate work to my part-time grant writer, and then the VA to help do some of the things while I focus on the bigger CEO tasks, as well as some other client work as well. The quality control that we're learning in the mentorship is helpful, as well as the marketing and the sales pipeline and all of that, instead of like random marketing, like having a plan. It's also something that's been very helpful in the mentorship. Yeah, so I feel good about that, to double
It's
my
just
revenue in my
fun. I
area.
remember, yeah, I remember my first 200,000 and I was like, ah, so excited, right? It's such a cool, especially within such a short period of time for you. Like, honestly, like it's so awesome. You would never see those kind of like income raises in a job, like through promotions. Like this is really only something you can do through entrepreneurship like this, right? So I think it's so cool to have those revenue jumps. And yeah, it's so much fun. And to be serving these clients that you love and not to have to say no, but to have systems for them, so you can do that. So in that experience, as far as like now you have a VA, now you have a part-time grant writer, and we do recommend like building a lean team, not like hiring full-time employees or anything like that, because as you're building your business, there's a lot of variables and we want to keep profit in your business as well. So how has that been for you? Because I know a lot of people, and this was my thought before I learned how to like communicate and delegate, was, oh, it's just going to be more work for me to bring somebody on than just doing it myself. Like that's a common right thing. Like I can scale. The only way I can scale is with me because that seems too hard. So can you tell me, like, did you have any of those thoughts, or how has having a team like worked for you and kind of overcome some of those things?
Yeah, yeah, I had those thoughts as well. In fact, when I hit the moment where it was like whether to say no to the clients, I don't want to say that, not because of the money, but because they came to me. They
Yeah.
really need help, and I want to
Mhm.
help them. At that point, that was the thought that I had. I mean, hiring somebody is going to bring me more work because I will end up doing the work myself. But that thought has changed now, because I will delegate. I, of course, will have quality control. And then I position my business to be a business like Amika Consulting, not me as an individual. And clients are understanding that as well. So I think, yes, the thought was there, but I am overcoming it gradually, slowly, trying to let go some of the control things that I have. Naturally, I am like that. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure everything's perfect and all of that, which is hard. But I mean, they can also write grants. They grant writers. I mean, the VA is a professional person in the area that sees that, so she knows how to do it. So I will just let them do it. Yep.
That's great. And what areas of your business, like for your VA, has it really changed? Like, have you felt a lot of stress go in certain areas, or just be like, oh my gosh, I never thought I could let that go, and now that's happening, and now I couldn't live without somebody like that? Like, what is your experience with just the VA so far?
Yeah, yeah, I can talk about that. My inbox is number one. I don't think I could never let somebody just come in my inbox and be answering emails and doing things to me, seeing all my emails. Now they're perfect. They're handling it correctly. I mean, sometimes I go in and check in, but like my calendar as well, they're very helpful in that area. And the admin side and the operations of the business is an area that I have completely decided to just give it to them. I mean, I record my meetings with clients before I will go back to those recordings myself and transcribing and looking for things. But now I'll just have the meeting and that's it. I will go to something else or start writing grants or have client calls. And then the next thing I know, the notes are in my inbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How was that like just helped like with stress or just like with like, wow, I am a business owner. Like there's such a, you know what I mean? Like inbox, big, calendar, big. Like you never feel like you could hand those things over. And when it happens, you're like, wow. Right? Like how has that impacted you like just for your mental health?
Yeah, it feels amazing and great. And then I recently took a vacation, 1 week vacation with my kids without checking my inbox. But before that, even though I will be on vacation, I'll be checking my inbox every day. But the thought of having to take a 1 week vacation, not thinking about whether somebody is emailing me things that I need to respond to, the VA was handling things urgently as they came in, and then just told them that I'm out of office.
Mhm.
I mean, before I went out of office, I make sure I handled everything I needed to with the client deliverables. But the thought of having somebody just to help me, to be there for me while I go on my vacation, or sometimes I will take off days. I took an off day on my birthday. I didn't work. I didn't check any email. The thought of
Mhm.
that freedom alone, it's just amazing. And I'm so thankful that I have support like that.
Yeah, and you don't have to just depend on yourself because I know as a freelancer, oftentimes it feels like if I leave for a minute, if I get sick, if I need to go on, like everything needs to shut down. And it doesn't when you have the support. So as far as like, and taking those vacations, because in the past too, like, yeah, I took vacations, quote unquote, but I had my computer on. Like you said, I
Yes.
was still checking things. I didn't take a real vacation. And in the mentorship, we teach you how to take a real vacation by like delegating. And it's a part of it. Like we don't want to see y'all in here for at least a month out of the year. We want you to be on holiday, right? Like that's a part of it, right? So what about the grant writer? Now, the grant writer support is another number one thing that a lot of people need to hire to have that direct delivery support. How has that been helpful in your business?
Yeah, that has been very helpful too, because now I can focus on, like, with my clients, the strategy part, as well as making sure that
Mm.
I talk to them about the relationship building and the cultivation, supporting them more in that area. Of course, I am still writing grants, but part of the grants I used to write are now with the grant writer. If I used to write, let's say, 3 grants or 4 grants or two even per client, that means a lot of grants by myself. Even if I have 3 or 4 clients, it's a lot of grants by myself. So I have somebody to take half of that, or at least some of that, and then while I take over the other things, and it will give me more time to think about my business, think about things I
Mhm.
need to do besides the writing, like
Yeah.
any other capacity building things I can bring into the business, the marketing, the relationship building with people in the movement, like fellow consultants, my clients, the networking and speaking engagements, and all of those things. I will now have time to do that.
Yeah.
Before, I will do it, but I mean, I will burn myself out if I have to do it by
Yeah.
myself, which I really
Yeah.
don't want.
And that's such a good point because, it's kind of counterintuitive to what people traditionally think is building a business. I need to, like, if I'm going to scale it, I need to work more and I need to like do more of the work to get more clients. And it's like, that's actually the way you can't build your business. You will hit a wall, you will hit a ceiling. The only way to build your business and to scale it is actually to start doing less delivery work because you have to do all these other things, right? Like you're talking about working on your business, doing, thinking about speaking, getting out there, and just having the time to think about your clients and strategize more. Like just thinking time is so important and not like thought about of course, because you don't schedule it. I'm like, schedule your thinking time, y'all, because you need to be thinking about your clients and what's needed and strategy. And that's really how you can grow your business. So it's kind of counterintuitive. So I love that you're really embracing that and you're seeing it work. And then part of that too is like what's been helpful in the academy. Like we have our hiring process. We also have our SOPs to help delegate to people. Like if you had that thought of, ooh, I don't, if it's going to take more time to delegate, does it really though? Like, have you been able to utilize some of those SOPs and systems so that it doesn't really take as long as you thought it would? Like, what's your process with that?
Yeah, I have been utilizing the SOPs a lot. I mean, when I had the VA just came in, at the time, I had no SOPs around team members. I just had SOPs about the business and client relationships. So they've been very helpful to build out SOPs for my team members. Also, like the hiring team mindset itself, SOPs, and then the delegation document that we have in the curriculum has also been very helpful with the team, like managing the team, not really like doing the work, but having one-on-one meetings once a week or like twice bi-weekly, and the emails, delegating and expecting them to implement and execute the tasks that they have, reporting on time on the things that they're working on, just like how I am doing for my clients, right? I expect
Yeah.
them to do the
Yeah.
same. Yeah, so the SOPs have been very helpful.
So, so good. So I love that you've been able to come in, like quit your full-time job, start your full-time business, earn 100K in a year, be on track to earn 200K, and building a team where you can still take a vacation. So it's not like the more money you make, the more you got to hustle. It's like, no, actually the opposite of that. The more you have to like put systems in place so you can have time to really think about your business. So I love that, all of the things. It's such a honor to be with you in your journey, and I just so appreciate this. So yeah, I love it. But anything else, Isatou, that you want to talk about the mentorship for people who might be thinking about joining, as we're opening the doors again soon, and they might be in the same position as you like were before in the academy, like, oh my gosh, I have a lot of clients and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think the mentorship is really helpful if you are a grant writer, you already have a business in place, and then you are thinking of, even if you don't really want to grow your business that big, but you're thinking of actually having one person to support with admin, the mentorship is it's good. On also, in addition to that, if you actually thinking of just yourself, but you want to scale your offers to have like more revenue from your current clients, the mentorship, what you're going to be learning from just being in the space with other people. I mean, some other people in the mentorship have 500K businesses or more. So just hearing sometimes in the coaching calls, the type of questions they ask, how they share things, you will learning in the process as well. And the community is very supportive. We share things, we support each other. Yeah, I think it's an amazing community, and it's a small team as well. You're able to get the support that you really need. Yeah.
I love that so much. Love it. Thank you so much for coming on. And I'm just so excited to be a part of Amika Consultant as you're growing it. And yeah, so where can people find you out there?
You can check me out on my website, Amika Consulting, www.amikaconsulting.com, and Amika is spelled as Amika consulting.com. And my LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn, Isatou Bittaye-Jobe on LinkedIn. I just want to say thank you so much, Holly, for being so supportive to me with my business. When I started, I didn't even know that I was going to get to this point by now. I mean, in 2 years. So you've been very helpful. The both the academy and the mentorship have been really helpful to me for like growing the business and just having that business mindset.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You're so welcome. I'm so honored once again to be a part of your journey. Like it's so fun. So I'm just like cheering you on constantly and seeing you grow. And I love that you're just able to like get in and like, okay, here's what I need to do, and then you do it, right? Like it's a lot of that with you, I see. And yeah, there is some mindset stuff, but a lot of it's just like with everyone, right? But a lot of it you're just able to be like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And having that inner confidence is so amazing. So yeah, I just love watching you work and watching you grow your business, and I know you're just going to do and keep doing, because you already are doing, but keep doing wonderful things for the world. So thank you so much.